Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer, and this is the Byrna CL. So, CL for compact launcher. So, this video is just going to be my initial first impressions of the launcher as far as build quality and everything goes. And then I'm going to show you guys how to install the Pro site, which is actually pretty doggone cool. So, I guess I could tease you just a little bit. Alright, so I've not changed the CO2 or anything. I did reload it and break yourself. Alright, so I was actually really pleasantly surprised with how it looked when I opened the box. It is just freaking cute. That's just all there is to it. It's cute. I really like the stippling. I'm going to give you a close look. Closer. Closer. That's nice. It actually looks really nice, and it gives it a good grip. And speaking of the grip, I honestly figured that it was not going to fit my hand very well, just the way it looked. I've got pretty long fingers, and I know they designed this so that, you know, small-handed women could use it or whatever. But it actually is extremely comfortable, and the sights are really nice. If you want to get a closer look at those. So, focus, son. So, I definitely like that. It is very small. I know most of the people that are doing videos are like, it's smaller than I expected. So I was kind of expecting it to be small, but honestly, it's smaller than I expected. So, and what really, the part of it that really surprised me is the thinness of it, not the other dimensions, but how thin it is. It is extremely thin, so which is nice. But, and I'll show you just real quick. So probably the most comfortable and most useless, less lethal launcher to carry would be the Umarex Glock Gen 5. Glock 17 Gen 5 43 caliber. If you guys didn't see my last video, we tested this on Ballistic Joel, and me actually took a shot from it, and it was, well, it tickled. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, this is a lot more powerful than this, and we'll do more testing and stuff on that, but I will give you that spoiler alert. This is considerably more powerful than this. Width-wise, come on, guy, get where it's going. So, 1 inch exactly. Width-wise, 1 inch exactly. So, if you're, because I honestly, this is the easiest, you know, up until this has been the easiest less lethal that I've seen to carry as far as something that launches balls anyway. So if you think this is easy to carry, this is much easier to carry because you've got the exact same width. This is lighter. The CL is a lot lighter. And then you've got the length difference. Handles considerably different. Now mine does have a hoe grip, so it's a little misleading. But you can look, if you look at the top, there's the thinness of it's, you know, considerable. So much more effective than this and easier to carry. So for anybody that's been carrying one of these, get this, you'll be much happier. I do suggest if you get one of these, just go ahead and order some of this. I think this is where this launcher is going to shine with the max projectiles. And I've said this in videos before. If you guys haven't seen the video I did with the Byrna TCR where I got rid of a bear on my property with that, with chemical rounds, I worry more about animals in my area. I live in the middle of nowhere, and you know, it's probably a bigger chance that I'm going to have to worry about a bear or something than I am a person in this area. But with the chemical rounds in this, you kind of cover both your bases. So humans, obviously, chemicals are very effective on humans, and they're extremely effective on an animal. And pretty much any less lethal out there is not going to be effective on a big bear with a kinetic projectile. But a chemical projectile is going to definitely, because animals have a stronger sense of smell. So you just bust a chemical projectile on the ground in front of it, and you've got, you know, you're going to get rid of them. And I've proven that. So that's something to consider. I think, like, if you take something like this, where it kind of falls into play is something that you're going to carry 24/7 anywhere you go. On vacation, wearing shorts and a t-shirt, you can take this. So if you look at, like, a lot of people really like the Intrabusters or the X68s, and I do too because they're extremely powerful. But if you look at actually carrying one of them, there is a massive difference, like massive difference. See that? So something that you can, like, stick in the back pocket of your shorts when you're out with the family on vacation, you're not going to do that with the X68. All right. So that kind of, and hiking, another thing, you know, if you go hiking, you can carry this hiking with you. Again, you've got, you know, throw it full of pepper ammo, so you're probably, well, I'm not going to say more likely because there's a lot of weirdos on the trail and stuff, but if you're hiking, you know, good chance you could need it for an animal. You don't want something that's going to weight you down. The power's not going to matter if you're using chemicals. So extremely good choice for hikers and stuff to be able to carry something that's going to, you know, fend off people or animals and not, you know, burden you with carrying a bunch of weight in your, you know, hiking gear. And it's fast too because it's got the pull to pierce, you know, da-da-da. So anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's look at the Byrna Pro Sight. So I'm going to show you guys just really quick how to install it. Let me clear everything off here. All right, so obviously first thing you're going to do, make sure you don't have any CO2 in it. Make sure you don't have any ammo in it. Once your mag's ejected, make sure to push down here and get the last ball out. Da-da-da. So safety first and all that jazz. So then you're going to open up your box here. Here's your sight. It has a little protective cover on the battery. You're going to need to remove your cover here so you can access the screws. Now, I did notice something. It comes with a tool, but this tool fits the screws on the optic, but it does not fit the ones on the launcher. I got a T8 Torx bit driver, and that fits both. So I don't know, I'm not sure what the deal is with that. So if you're having trouble with that, that's what you need, is a T8 bit. All right, so just take those two screws out, make sure you don't lose those, and take your sight plate off. Okay, so let me tell you just a couple of specs real quick about this optic before we get started. So I was actually getting asked this before I ever even got the launcher. What cut does it use as far as your cut for your optic? The sight, the Pro Sight, is an RMS cut, so I'm going to assume that an RMS cut. Now it doesn't, so a lot of time, well, let me show you. And I think they did this to make it more versatile for other optics from what I understood talking to them. But usually on a cut, you're going to have, on a cut on your pistol, you're going to have little tabs that stick up like that actually go in little holes on the bottom of your optic. They didn't put that, and from what I understand, that's so that you can use a wider range of optics. But this is an RMS cut if you were to want to use this on a different pistol or whatever. So anyway, and they actually made it just a little bit, they were telling me they made it just a little bit bigger in front of this optic to also accommodate a wider range of aftermarket optics. So I thought that was pretty cool. So when you're going to take the two screws out like I just did, take this base plate off. There is going to be a little plate underneath it. So you're going to just sit that over your screws like that. See what I'm doing there? And then you're going to just sit your optic on top of it. I don't know if if you actually need to do that or not, but I figured it would, isolate the battery a little bit better. So I'm choosing to actually, reinstall that little thin plate there, little thin piece, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a plate. But get both of your screws started. Then what you want to do, because it doesn't have those little tabs in your cut, you do have to make sure that you have it straight. So if you just hold on either side of it, you can feel that you've got it, lined up straight. And then go ahead and tighten these down. There's no recoil or anything on these, so you're not, too much of a chance of the thing getting knocked off without the tabs. But once you, let's see if I can get here. There you go. See, there's just that little bit of gap up in front of it. And again, they said that's to accommodate, if you want to use something different aftermarket other than their brand. All right, so I started to tell y'all specs and then I got distracted. So this has a 3 MOA dot. It has 10 brightness settings. It has a lockout mode. You hold the minus sign for 3 seconds and it will lock it out. Hold the plus sign for 3 seconds and it'll reactivate it. It's going to stay on. If you don't push any buttons and you turn it on, it's going to stay on for 8 hours. So if you're carrying it longer than 8 hours, you might want to try to remember to reach down and push a button to restart that. And then try to remember when you get home to cut it off. So just to save battery. But the good news is it actually will run 50,000 hours on each battery. So it's a very common battery size. Did I say 3 MOA red dot? I think I already said that, but it's a 2032 battery, so you can get that, Walmart, anywhere very easily. It does obviously have windage and elevation adjustment. Now, if you go to sight it in and you can't get your elevation adjusted just right, it does come with a wedge shim. So depending on which direction you need it to go in, you can turn it different ways. Well, I guess it'd be different ways to actually shim it up one way or another if you can't get can't get it adjusted right with your controls on it. All right, so I think that's about it. Obviously, make sure to like and subscribe. I've got over 2,000 less lethal videos on my channel, and I will definitely be doing more with this. Everybody in the house is asleep, so I'm not going to shoot it again tonight, and I want to do a little better video with the shooting of it. So, all right, that's it for today, y'all. Bye. If I can get it reset. Okay, yeah. So